everyone, and we're back, and it's spring, so we're not wearing black for once.
That and the black backdrop.
Yeah, that's also... We got kind of yelled at by our producers for always wearing black stuff, so...
And we have producers, shockingly.
Yeah.
I know. It's almost like we're kind of legit with all of this. Anyway, that aside, today, since it is spring, we're actually going to start getting into spring holidays, since they always pop up in anime, but rarely do we actually know anything about them because we're ignorant Westerners, so that's what we're doing today.
Well, we're ignorant Westerners. You're quite versed in.
Well, I also did have to look up most of them because I actually knew very little about Golden Week. So, that being the segue into it, first off, let's talk about Golden Week, beautiful. So Golden Week was essentially a holiday made by, I forgot which emperor.
It was Hirohito.
Hirohito? Anyway, so essentially Hirohito wanted a wonderful week for everyone to celebrate, kind of get a nice, almost spring break sort of thing. And he wanted it to be based around his birthday. Essentially.
Sit back, enjoy the cherry blossoms, have some sake.
And enjoy the fact that I exist and this is my birthday.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that was the entire point of it.
It is a tradition reminiscent of the Roman emperors in the way they would set aside holidays for their own birthdays.
But the problem was, the tradition continued long after Hirohito, but they had to keep coming up with different ways to kind of make it legit.
Yeah, so now that it is 2018, and you can't just say, this is the birthday of an emperor who died several decades ago.
Yep.
They had to basically put in justifications for why Golden Week still exists.
There is actually one. This is the last day of Golden Week, and it is Children's Day. That one actually was around for a relatively long time. That's when you see the giant koi kites in Japan. Those represent the number of boys in the family, and it's supposed to bring good luck to them as they fly in the wind. On that topic, though, the rest of Golden Week isn't really so...
They're weird.
There's like Greenery Day, which is the day before Children's Day. And Greenery Day is basically, the earth is green, let's celebrate it.
Is this when the fertility festival comes around? Okay, that's a different thing.
No, it's just earth be green.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a day to celebrate the fact that all the trees, leaves, and bushes are back and are green again.
Yep.
Hey.
It's spring. It's green. We're going to celebrate it.
Yeah, and then the day before that is Constitution Memorial Day, as opposed to Constitution Day, which is a different thing. Yeah. It's celebrating the time that the U.S. and MacArthur made Japan
have a constitution.
Create a new constitution after the Meiji Constitution.
Yeah.
So
that's kind of
it's a weird holiday.
Like we said, they had to find reasons why these specific days were the ones they were taking off, and it just so happened that this was the day they signed the Constitution. Yeah. So they decided we'll make that one of the days in Golden Week.
Well, that's not that unsurprising. We do something similar with President's Day. It was originally a day celebrating Washington's birthday and Abraham Lincoln's. And now it's just President's Day.
Yep.
So
because they're like, we got to make it sound. We got to make it more general.
Yeah.
There's other presidents that deserve to be celebrated, so we'll just call it President's Day. We know it was just for the other two, but now we're just going to rename it, and it's all good.
And going off on that tangent, actually the first day of Golden Week is Showa Day, which essentially is Hirohito's original birthday, but they have sort of enlarged it to be the Showa era, the traditional Japan, sort of a celebration of the culture and tradition of Japan. Essentially, it's Culture Day.
Sure.
They do have a separate Culture Day, but essentially, Showa Day is just Culture Day.
Is there a double up of every Japanese holiday? Because it sounds like there's a lot of doubles in there,
Yes, and we're actually going to get to that with the summer holidays, because those are pretty much repetition for literally the entire summer. It's kind of
That'll
magical.
Be another episode next week.
But actually, on that topic of just random festivals all the time, is the most important thing that you'll probably actually see a lot in any anime, which is specifically Hanami, which directly translated is flower look, or flower viewing festivals. And this is specifically because it's spring, the cherry blossoms are actually blooming. They have about 3 days to fully mature before they fall off the trees. We're going to go and sit underneath the trees, drink a ton of sake, get drunk, and sing karaoke.
And enjoy the beautiful scenery.
And enjoy the beautiful scenery.
1960s, the holiday.
The reason why this is a series of festivals rather than an official holiday is Japan is a big place.
Well, it's technically small, but it has a lot of temperate climates.
It is compact.
Yes. So
It's dense.
depending on if you're in Kyushu or if you're in Hokkaido or anywhere in between, it's going to have different days that are best to view the cherry blossoms. For instance, I believe it's like
it's mid-March for the southern
like
areas,
March
going into
26th.
late April.
Yeah.
For
I think it's
the
March
northern.
30th for Kyushu, and then moving up into late April for Aomori Prefecture and Hokkaido. So depending on where you are, you're going to have different flower viewing days, and you're going to have different times that are the best season to go and have picnics. And basically, all the flower viewing festivals boil down to is sitting around with friends, looking at the beauty of nature, and having picnics. And that's basically what happens.
The reason you see this in anime, both of these holidays in anime, getting back to why we're here, which is anime, Golden Week is a week off from school. It is their spring break, essentially.
Pretty much.
And
so they'll go and have fun during that time. They'll do study parties, they'll go to the beach.
And you can usually tell that it's Golden Week specifically because of Children's Day. You'll see a lot of those kites flying in the background with the giant carp and stuff like that. That's a very traditional establishing shot to show time period, or cherry blossoms. And that's another thing that you'll see a lot in anime is these flower viewing parties with friends where they'll go out and eat treats and have a picnic under the cherry blossoms. It's also a very romantic time. So if you're watching a rom-com or a slice of life, it'll usually be where they're like getting all close to each other and being like, oh, senpai, and stuff like that.
You're older than me, woman.
And another reason is in middle Japan, the time of flower blossoms for cherries is about the same time they start their spring semester of school, which is when they move years.
Which is also why you'll see in Oron, it's like 90% cherry blossoms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it symbolizes the start of a new year, start of a new life,
also,
with the blooming of the flowers. So it's the same way they symbolize the starting of a new anime, the starting of a new year.
And even
in your
with
school.
that, even in traditional Japanese culture, the cherry blossom was very significant. It showed impermanence. It was this beautiful flower that would last very, very short time before it faded away. It was this beauty and impermanence. And so it was with that
Much like a haiku. It's short and sweet.
Yep. And so they valued it for its beauty, for its impermanence, for all of that stuff. And so that's why it keeps getting reused
and that's a similar thing
stuff.
with why they value their high school years, and looking back upon it is the temporary nature of those years. And so there's a lot of allegories to be made, so it's an easy thing to connect them.
It's very symbolic. And, after those high school years in Japan, not so fun.
It's also why a lot of romances take place under it, because it's your first romance. It's sweet and impermanent, and then it ultimately dies in the end.
Yeah, and soul-crushing and terrible thereafter. You'll also see a lot in anime around this time is culture festivals. Like, every anime has a culture festival episode.
Yep.
Where they all go and, build a booth or a stand, or all go to a shrine, and,
Yeah, that's usually more at the end, kind of near summer break would actually be.
Really?
So we're actually going to get into that next time.
Okay.
But yeah, that's a great segue into next episode.
It obviously does vary depending on schools, because those are, again, not a national holiday. A lot of these things are locally based.
Yeah, that's a good thing to mention. Hanami is not a national holiday. It usually fits in with spring break, and it usually fits in with Golden Week sometimes, and with these other holidays, so people can take time when they actually do have a break from work and go do it. But it's not nationally recognized, again, because it changes from region to region. So they can't just say one day, this is Hanami. You go see flowers then. They can't just do that because it
wouldn't work.
It's regional because the flowers are blooming at different times all over the country.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you're going to see a lot of this in next week's episode in the summer with the festivals. So look forward to that.
If you guys on vacation in Japan, could you do flower bar hopping?
You basically could.
Yeah.
You could
that
start.
Would be awesome.
You could start down in Kyushu, in like Kagoshima, Nagasaki, down in the southern region in late March, and just keep going.
You can spend a month doing it.
Yeah,
that
you could go from like one city a week as you move up through like Osaka, Tokyo, and all the way up to Hokkaido. And yeah, if you spent like a month just hopping from city to city, you would be there for all of their important Hanami festivals.
Wow, that would be fantastic.
Yeah. So on that fun note, to consider if you have a month of free time, I suppose.
And money.
We will see you guys next week with summer festivals.
Yep. See you guys next week.